Tombstone, Arizona. Locals call it the town too tough to die, but hard economic times makes the town's future unclear. Cronkite News reporter Ivan Rodriguez traveled to Tombstone, where he found more than just history.
Tombstone is trying to survive, but interest in Wild West history seems to be waning. The city hopes there is still a longing to revisit a great part of American history. One of the last frontier boomtowns in the old American West, Tombstone prospered mostly in the late 1800s. The town is best known for the fight at the OK Corral. But what is this small town's place in America today?
Those of us that grew up during the days of the TV westerns have a fascination for the Old West in America, and nothing says it better than Tombstone, a sort of cowboy mecca here.
If you take a look at the number of people who've signed into the visitor center since 2010, you see a roller coaster, highs in one year and lows in the next. In the past 5 years, more than 167,000 passed through.
We have our seasons, and we have our ups and our downs. The first Eldorado celebration had people shoulder to shoulder right out here in Allen Street. And during the heyday of TV westerns in the 1950s and 60s, we had a lot. Then it tapered off. Then when the movie Tombstone came out in 1993, it boosted up again. And now it's taking a little bit of a dip, but hopefully with the revival of westerns on TV and in the movies, it will pick up again as younger people become fascinated with the Old West.
Many of the original buildings are still standing. Tourists flock to the historic Birdcage Theater, which was a saloon, gambling hall, house of ill repute, and theater, all in one. It was also the home of a surprisingly long poker game.
Right down here, this is where they had the West's longest poker game. It lasted 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days. It was non-stop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the minimum buy-in was $1,000 to get into the game. That would be like $330,000 today, just to give you an idea.
And of course, the reference point for anyone who visits is the movie Tombstone, released in 1993.
I always tell people when they first come to Tombstone to watch the movie that's now about 21 years old, and then come out here and go through these old buildings like the Birdcage, the courthouse, the OK Corral, and then when they go home, watch the movie again, and they will understand it so much more than when they watch it the first time.
And they can pretend they are part of the action, shoot a six-shooter, and imagine what it was like to be in the middle of the fight at the OK Corral.
I got one left for you, Holiday.
Those who visit Tombstone have mixed feelings. Some don't like that it has become too touristy, while others say it was on their bucket list.
The world is losing interest in it, maybe because it's just old hat, maybe, but we're not seeing too many new westerns being made. And I think that's a shame. It's as much a shame as any of our history. Our history is being ignored, not only by our cinematography, but also by our educators. You know, if we don't pay attention to history, we relive it.
For many locals, Tombstone also remains a sacred part of Americana.
It's America, it's history, it's part of our Old West tradition of the days when the man solved his problems with his fists and his guns.
And when the sun goes down, don't think that the show is over, because it's only just beginning. Tombstone's place in modern history is still uncertain. The Old West town maintains hope that younger generations will fall in love with its history just as people have before. Ivan Rodriguez, Cronkite News.